Good afternoon to you, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Monday, the 4th of November, 2013. I will be producing these video blogs only on a weekly basis now, each Monday for the rest of the month, with a final recap broadcast, if you will, video blog, going over the 2013 hurricane season. And this year it'll be more about what went wrong with the forecasts than anything else. A very lackluster season in the Atlantic Basin, and that's important to understand why these seasonal forecasts from everybody, all the reputable agencies from NOAA to the different universities that tried to make forecasts for the hurricane season, to the private weather firms, nobody got it right, and they missed it by a lot. So it is important to understand why. I think people would agree. And we hope that those forecasts can become more reliable so that down the road, maybe, just maybe, we can know possibly weeks to months in advance if there is a chance of a hurricane in any given location. That could really help preparedness and mitigation. So you got to start somewhere, and it may be decades away before we get to that point, but you do have to have some kind of a beginning, and sometimes it can be very humbling when you blow a forecast with what seemed to be a very active season turned out to be anything but. Looking out there today, this first full week of November, one area of interest down here in and around the Greater Antilles, that's these islands through here, just a weak surface low interacting with the islands down there, bringing some moisture. Let's look at a satellite animation. You can see this pretty deep moisture, and in this situation we're going to look at the water vapor imagery because it will show us how much moisture there is. Pretty good plume of it sitting down across this region here, so there will be some heavy rainfall in eastern Cuba, the Turks and Caicos, maybe around Haiti. Good moisture source down in this region, just not enough of whatever this missing ingredient is for the hurricane season for this to develop. None of the global models showing that this will develop anytime soon. You can see quite a bit of dry air back between this moisture source and more moisture coming out of the Pacific, actually, feeding into another cold front coming down out of Canada. So the tropics are nice and quiet in the Atlantic Basin, with the exception of this feature, of course. And then in the eastern Pacific, no new development areas expected now that Sonia is now inland over Mexico. Everything else out here nice and quiet, as we would expect it to be this time of year. Things should start winding down. Where they're not winding down is way out here in the western Pacific. We have another typhoon in development here, and this is going to head towards the Philippines area. Let's broaden this perspective out a little bit. This is forecast to be a very strong typhoon as it heads towards the Philippines here over the coming days. A Category 4 typhoon once again, and this could impact a pretty big population center in the Philippines. So we're going to have to watch that. It's their 31st named tropical cyclone, I believe it is, 30 or 31 out there. Amazing. It's been so busy over here, but hardly busy at all in the Atlantic Basin. And sort of a mishmash of activity. 18 named storms in this part of the world, but only one major hurricane coming out of it. So who knows? All right, well, that is it for me for today. Again, I am Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, and for Hurricane Pro and HD, I'll talk to you next week.